Welcome back to another episode of Parenting in Progress. I'm Corey.
I'm Jordan.
And we're the Welches. Welcome back to another episode. Jordan, we got a trip coming up.
Vacay.
As Karlee would call it, Colorado. She says it very clearly.
She does.
She says it pretty much syllable by syllable like that too. It's very enunciated. It's Colorado.
Yep.
She's excited.
She's getting excited. Go see mountains.
Oh yeah, we've been pumping her up about the mountains, and we don't even have a for sure tentative schedule of exactly what we're doing either, which is unlike us for the most part. But you know what? We'll figure it out. It's just going to be a little long weekend and a little getaway before things start getting busy, because here in rural America, you get around April, May, June time. There's a lot of equipment running around. There's a lot of seed going in the ground. Things are moving. Things are busy. And it's crunch time.
Yeah, and you accrue time off. And so you're kind of almost at the max out level that you need to use a little bit of time before it's going to be difficult to take some time for a while. So yeah, my brother lives out in Colorado, and we're going to go and see him, my sister-in-law, my niece, and my nephew. My parents are actually going out as well, but we will be driving separately because my spring break is the following week, and we get to spend another day out there. So just make it a short little trip. It'll be fun.
We usually take a trip. We didn't last year. That was about the year that we broke the streak. But other than that, we've always taken a trip out there to see family out there, and it's just a good little quick getaway. Like I said before, things just get hectic. It's a nice little break, little breather room. We get back, and it's pretty much go time.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice for me on the school end of it, like have a little fun trip, and then boom, we got the last 9 weeks and then into summer. So I'm a little bit more nervous about driving out there this time than last time. Last time we went out there, Karlee was 5-6 months old, so she did a lot of napping in the car. This time, we're going to have to make sure she gets up and moves on those little breaks that we take.
Yeah, and hopefully she'll sleep good going out there, because we won't arrive till late our time. I mean, about midnight. So the way that the trip's planned right now, hopefully she can go to sleep and rest some, and then we won't, quotations, have to make as many stops, hopefully. So if we can usually get it done in 1 or 2 stops, that's the max we want. Ideally, if we could do 1 stop, it'd be great, but probably going to be pretty close this year to doing 2, probably.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to need 2, maybe 3. I would hope by the 3rd stop she's asleep, so we might just surpass that and keep going. But we debated on when to leave before we've left around 4 o'clock our time. Again, this is Colorado's in mountain time, so we have a time change, and just kind of leave in the afternoon, eat supper along the way, and hammer it out and get out there. And then you can go to sleep when we get to my brother's house, and then you're there the whole next day. Like, you don't lose part of a day by driving out during the actual day. But we debated on leaving at nap time. I kind of thought that through and was like, well, maybe by the time that she gets out to Colorado, it's almost going to be her bedtime anyway. And I don't think she would like that. I don't think that it would be fair to say, oh, you just rode in the car for however many hours. Now go to bed.
Yeah, any way you look at it, it's fairly difficult. But once we get out there, it'll be good. Karlee's very flexible sleeper, so not super worried about it. However, we are going to have to take a pack and play if we're not going to stay with them one night at least.
Yeah. We're kind of at the end of the pack and play stage. I think she'll be fine for this little trip, but we're going to start moving into like we have like a fake nugget, and the one piece of that, we could put a sheet over it. That might be more like this summer's vacation. But yeah, trying to pack some things for that. Really, the nice thing is my brother and sister-in-law, their daughter is like 7 months younger than Karlee. So if there's any major things that we need, they have high chair. They have I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but.
Really, the only thing, I mean, we used to have to pack bottles. We used to have to pack countless diapers, nose suckers, nails. Like, we packed a whole lot of stuff when she was really little because you just didn't ever know when you really needed it. Now, outside of clothes, pack some toys.
Yes. I think that's the main thing is she is going to sleep part of the way out, like towards the end when it gets to bedtime, but how to keep her entertained, because Corey gets the luxury of just driving and listening to whatever he wants to up front. Meanwhile, mom's in the back keeping Karlee entertained. And that can get kind of tiring as well, because sometimes I just want to sit and just chill out.
Well, the nice part is when she goes to sleep, your job's done. Okay. I still got to drive out there. All right.
You know, I can take a turn. That's what I used to do growing up.
Yeah. And I'd probably fear for my life a little bit.
Oh, whatever. I can do it.
I'm not saying you couldn't, but.
Once we get closer to the Denver area, I'm clocked out. Like, nope, someone take over. I'm not doing it. But on the way out there, I can do that. One thing that I thought of is, she's in the car for X amount of hours. Then we take a break. And then she has to go get back in the car for another X amount of hours. So our first stop, I think we'll get something quick to eat. But there's a Sonic that right next to it has a playground. Like, it's Sonic's playground. I think you and we can go order a drink, let Karlee run and play for 30 minutes. Then we could go get some food, and then we can eat in the car maybe, because that kills a little bit of car time.
What I'd probably do, I'll probably get something to eat while we're sitting.
Okay.
And then you two or just her or whatever can probably eat on the road. Give you something to occupy you for probably up to an hour almost.
Yeah, an hour max, but it does kill a little bit of time, less entertainment. And that way the stop is mainly get out, run, and play, and not have to sit down and eat, because we can sit down and eat in the car. And then the next stop, there's a little play area anyway. They have like the concrete animals and stuff that's a fenced in that I think we'll get another good 30 minutes to run and play. Probably get her pajamas on her at that rest stop and just hope that she sleeps on the way out there. But I think some of the things we're going to do out there, Children's Museum. My brother said they have a really good Children's Museum out there in Denver. My niece takes a tumbling class I think it's on Saturdays, and Karlee is able to go with her. So we're going to tumble. Other than that, I really don't know. There's a really, really, really good pizza place out there that I'm hoping that maybe we can go to.
We need to hit it up.
Okay, I'll text my brother.
I think it's time. We haven't been there probably 2 or 3 years at least.
Yeah, it's so good.
Last couple times we went, we did not really go there that I remember. So we need to fit it in the schedule somehow, I think.
Okay, I'll text them and be like, hey, I know my parents went to that last time they were out there, but we have not, and it's our turn. We want to go. I think we're going to take a little trip after we leave my brother's house, go to Colorado Springs for a day. There's a couple little things we can do there. I would really like to get a hotel with a pool. Maybe get a little winter, because it still technically is winter swimming in.
We need to get it booked.
Yeah. Maybe I can do that after this. But really, I mean, this is the first little short vacay. We really don't have a whole lot scheduled, booked, planned. And I think it's okay. Sometimes I feel like we're so scheduled on things that it's nice to have things to do, ideas of things to do, but not make it so stressful.
When we have stuff pop up, I mean, this summer we'll decide to go to the zoo one day. We'll decide to go here one day, there one day. I mean, we have ideas. It's just, when we get kind of tired of being here, we're like, hey, we need to go take a day and do something, or we want Karlee to go do something. She's either been at home or daycare and home and daycare. Let's switch it up a little bit for a day and go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how, now that she's older, since we've been out there last, how she'll handle the time change. And speaking of time change,
oh yeah,
y'all set your clocks forward. We spring forward. It was today. So if you haven't, get those clocks turned over, because I'm sure a lot of parents hate that, because now bedtime is an hour off, nap time's an hour off, eating's an hour off. Your whole life now is an hour off again.
I know. And you can't just cater to it. You can't just be like, oh, well, it's 11 o'clock, really 12 o'clock, or whatever the time is, spring forward. You have to adjust to the new one. So it's like, suck it up. Here we go. We have to get used to this new schedule. I'm kind of tired today, but I feel like I had a good amount of sleep. Like Karlee did sleep in a little bit. But yeah, when we woke up this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, church is in an hour. We normally have a solid 2 to 3 hours when we wake up before church, and it's in an hour. So I feel like the morning was very rushed. And her nap was maybe 20, 30 minutes off from normal. Not too bad.
Yeah, we got her to bed a little later, which is going to be expected for the first day. It was actually about 15 minutes before her bedtime, actually, is when she went to bed. So, which is good. That's good. Supper time's going to be coming up. It will be nice to have a little bit more light in the evening, because maybe after supper we can go outside again. Here previously, we've been going outside just before supper, and then we're kind of in for the night almost.
Yeah, and that kind of stinks a little bit when you have to get the outside play in before supper, because when we get home from school and daycare, I'm thinking, okay, whatever we're making for supper, like I got to get this started by 5:15, 5:30 at the latest, and that doesn't leave a whole lot of time to play outside when we have to cook. So it's going to be really nice to have extended daylight to play after supper as well. I saw something online that's like moms everywhere when the chaos can move from the living room to outside. I'm like, yes, I'm excited for that.
And we've had really good weather. We had one cold day and it was kind of a rainy. It honestly hasn't been a very good week until about the last couple days. And it's really warmed up. Like today, it's almost going to get 70. You can start to feel, like Jordan and I were just talking about this the other day, you're starting to feel the sun's power come back, which the geek side of me, our Earth's rotating, the northern hemisphere is coming south again, more direct to the sun, but you can feel that. Mm-hmm. I mean, the other day it was in the car and it's like, man, that sunshine's hot. It's not just bright, it's hot now.
Yeah, you were out running in the grass with her and I was sitting on the steps and I just looked at the sun and it was shining in my face and it was warm and it felt so good. I'm like, oh, I just need to sit here for like 5 minutes, soak it in.
But yeah, I always wondered, there's always been this talk of, do we have daylight savings time yet or not? And so before I was going to make my opinion, I guess to a certain point, I don't really care. It is an inconvenience and it does suck for about a week, maybe 2. And then you kind of get used to it because, I mean, your seasons are changing. Your days are getting longer and shorter half the year. So you're always going to battle that, whether you have daylight savings or not. But really, it's to align the hours to extend the evening daylight, is what it says. I Googled it here. And it says, in the spring is to extend evening daylight, which it's going to. And then it also reverses that back in the fall. So we fall back and we spring forward. So I don't mind the idea of it, at least where we live. I don't necessarily mind the idea of it. Is it a pain in the butt? Absolutely. But so is the 21st of June and the 21st of December too. I mean, you got the shortest day and the longest day.
I guess my opinion is I like it, mainly because with them extending the daylight hours in the summer, in the warm months, we get that much more time outside. Yeah, it's kind of dreary on the winter days when it's dark at 5 o'clock and the days seem so short. But honestly, if it's 25 degrees outside, I don't really want to be out there playing anyway. So I guess it can be dark because we're going to be inside. So that's my opinion on it. I like the long summer. I know it'll be interesting with Karlee this summer with her bedtime and stuff when it's still light outside. Last year, we had a lot later bedtime we'll see how this summer goes, if she's needing to keep the same bedtime, or since it's summer and we're home, if we get to stay up a little bit later. We'll see.
And so one of the main purposes of the daylight savings, energy conservation. Historically, it reduced the need for artificial lighting, though the modern 2026 era, this usage makes the impact kind of minimal or controversial. But back in the day when they made it, they didn't want to pay for lights as much. So they just bumped it up and bumped it back, and they wouldn't have to keep their houses lit.
That seems like an odd reason to change the whole time.
Maybe it was super expensive back in the day. I mean, electricity isn't cheap now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, electricity is pretty cheap, but it probably was more expensive back then. I don't know. That's just what it said. I found it interesting.
I'm fine with keeping it, I guess.
But yet one of the cons is the biannual shift is known to disrupt sleep cycles, obviously, potentially leading to increased health issues.
What?
Okay, really? I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch. I get where you're going with it, but it's got to be teeny tiny. In some cases, higher risk of accidents immediately following the change, which maybe not.
My principal was so bummed when he realized that daylight savings was today and not next Sunday. He's like, "Are you serious? It always falls on spring break." I'm like, "Not this year." And he's like, "All right, we can do this. It's 1 week until spring break. We can get through it." But yeah, it seems like we're used to doing it, and the next day is spring break or whatever. So we have a little bit more time to get used to it.
And also, most of the U.S., except Hawaii and Arizona, everybody else continues to observe daylight savings time, as do many European countries and parts of Australia. Now, I can see why Hawaii doesn't. I mean, we've been there before. You're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Who's your closest neighbors? Nobody really. Like, you're out there by yourself. Yeah, you share a time zone with some other islands and part of Alaska, part of Russia, somewhere in there. But still, like, you're not in California time. You're past that, at least one time zone, if not two. I mean, I can see why they don't, because, hey, it's just our deal. It doesn't matter.
They're on island time.
I wish I was on island time.
Same.
If I was old and we were super rich, we might just retire there. Who knows?
Let's do it.
Sounds great. Yeah, it's gonna stink, I guess, for those that are in Arizona or Hawaii, but it's gonna stink for a week. But we'll get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really notice it at all, to be honest with you. And then once we got married and kind of got a little bit older, it kind of took me a week sometimes to get back into the swing of things. You know, you're tired at work and want to just go home and do nothing. But hopefully this one, I don't think the fall back in November, I believe, I don't think that affected me like it used to. So hopefully this one's like one day and we're good.
Which one would you rather have? Would you rather fall back or spring forward?
I want the spring forward where I get more daylight. You know, I'm like a inner cat and want the sunlight.
Well, I get that, but I'm meaning like if you had to choose one to get used to, which one's the easier one to get used to? Falling back or springing forward?
Oh, falling back, you get an extra hour of sleep. You wake up and you're rested. That's easier to get used to, I feel like. This one is a little bit harder.
I would agree, because when you fall back, you don't have to wake up an hour earlier. And also when you're going to bed, you're like, man, I'm going to bed a good time because it's 9:00 when I usually go to bed at 10. This one, it's like, oh man, I got to get up at like 6 now. We got to leave the house at 6 old time, 7:00 this time. Ugh. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh man, it's 11:00 at night. I usually go to bed at 10. What the heck? I'm not tired. Like it sucks springing forward, I would say. Way worse than falling back.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get used to it within a week. I feel like we got the what's it called? The short straw. We drew the short straw because we're adjusting to a time change. And then literally on Friday, we're going to go back another hour to mountain time. And then we're going to be all sorts of messed up.
An hour isn't bad though. I mean, even when we go out there for a long weekend, an hour isn't bad.
I know, but I was meaning like having this time change and then within a week, a different time change.
Yeah, who planned this trip?
My brother. He gave me the date.
Well, this morning was graduation day for Karlee.
I know. Another milestone makes me sad.
We had another milestone hit, and this one I'm going to like. I like it already better.
I'm going to like it too, but it's still the fact that she's done with the other that makes me sad.
So Karlee has graduated to a booster seat. She no longer has to be in the high chair, which, thank you. That high chair just sucks to clean. It's always messy. It's in the road. I got to move it. I'm just glad to get it out. Once again, we don't have a lot of space in the house. It will be nice to get that thing out of the house, or at least out of the living room I'm meeting. Probably going to go in the garage or something, or downstairs. It's going to get out of the way.
Yeah. And to back it up a little bit, looking back, I should have put a different high chair on our registry. We ended up buying this one because I think that one baby store or some home store was going out of business. And so we got it for like $15-20. Super cheap, but it's also not the greatest quality. It's not the ones that is pretty big. Like it's really skinny and it's narrow, which is good for our space in our kitchen. We probably couldn't have fit a big, nice sized high chair. So it's small anyway, but it is kind of a pain. It's always stuck in there. Like you can fold it up, but it's so difficult to fold up. We are not folding it up and out 3 times a day. So it just stays out. And Karlee, I know at daycare has switched a little bit to their little table. They have like a really short table with little kids' chairs. So she's been able to eat there. And I've Googled, like, when do you transition a toddler to a high chair? And it says 18 to 24 months. I'm like, oh, okay, well, she's already 25 months. It said, like, if they're fine in the high chair, you don't necessarily have to move them. And she was fine in the high chair. She did well with it. It's just a pain in the butt to cleaning the tray all the time. And we thought, like, she can try it. I think she would like to be part of the table with us. Like, you can only get so close to the table in the high chair versus actually being part of the table with us. And we thought maybe that would help her. She's a good eater, but help. She's into throwing things on the floor, and I think that might eliminate some of it. So I think it was Thursday or Friday, I was Googling good booster chairs. And there's the same brand of high chair that we have for like $15. And it looks just like a hard hunk of plastic, like not comfortable. No. And then I looked at this other one that's OXO. I was like, oh man, that looks really nice. Well, yeah, it's $70. I'm like, forget that. I'm not doing that. So there was another one that was maybe $20-30. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look up this OXO one on Amazon. I think it was Kohl's that said it was $70. Looked it up on Amazon. The color that I liked that day, lightning deal. I was like, that's my sign right there. $35. I said, score. It had great reviews. And it looked like a quality one versus an uncomfortable piece of junk. So we got it, and she was very interested in it as soon as we got it out of the box.
I like it because our high chair had a lot of sharp angles, like 90-degree angles, 45-degree angles. Food and nastiness gets trapped in there, and you can't clean it easily. This thing doesn't hardly have any sharp angles yet that I can see that you're going to get food in. So to me, it's going to be easy to rinse off, wash off. It's smaller. We can take it outside and do it for a split second rather than dragging the whole thing out,
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be great.
I think the only downfall of the food piece is there's this really, it's not, I wouldn't call it soft, but it's kind of a softer, I don't know if it's rubber or what, cushion that you can pop out. And I think it's for like if she gets tall enough, you can pop that out and it sinks down a little bit lower. I think it could extend the time that you can use it. But there's a little piece where the buckle between the legs goes, that there's a little spot where food can get in. And so that's probably the only difficult spot. But the other, her high chair, I mean, I had to get a toothpick. Like to scrape the stuff out, you had to use a toothpick.
And I think on that one little piece, you're probably going to have to use something like that. But if it drops, it just drops down on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's just, I mean, you're going to take that on and off the chair once a couple weeks at least, probably. I mean, if she makes a mess, it's probably coming off. Time to clean it. The rubber piece, I think, number one, it's to help keep their butt set in there. It's a grip instead of slick plastic like it is, especially where everything's rounded and not sharp.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, I think that's to help keep their butt in there. I think it's to help cushion their butt because it's hard plastic, which little kids don't really care most of the time anyway. But I think it's just a comfort thing. But pop it out, wash it off. It's a type of rubber, I'd say, rubber/silicone, something like that.
Mm-hmm. But it has one strap that goes around the back of the chair and one strap that goes underneath it. Super easy to take out. We don't even have it tightened as tight as it could be. It doesn't move on our chair. She's the perfect height to sit in it up to the table. It's not like an awkward height where she's above the table or below it. And then it also pushes in, like with the chair, it pushes in nicely and it doesn't have to stick out. So it will be great to have the high chair gone. But then the other side of me is like, oh, she's not going to sit in a high chair again. But I'll get over it.
I'm already over it. And I guess the biggest thing is, I mean, we don't have to have this big clunky thing around that I've had to step over, push out of the way. I mean, even when I was rocking her in the chair when she was little itty bitty and it was set up there, you know how many times back a chair had hit that thing, you try to push it and it wouldn't go anywhere? I'm glad. I'm glad.
We've had it out it's been 18 months because we've had it out since she was 6 months and can start foods, solids.
And she can now sit up at the table with us. We can also be on each side of her instead of, it used to be me and then Jordan beside her, and then she'd be beside Jordan kind of off to the side of the table. And it'll be nice. I think she feels a little more included.
I think she does. She can look out the window and she can see. And I think it's nice to have her in between both of us now. So big girl steps going on here at the Welch household. Another, I don't want to call it weird, but an odd thing that Karlee's been doing lately is, that's my mommy. And she'll say it randomly to you. And she'll say it to me. And she'll come up to me and grab my legs and say, that's my mommy. I said, you're right, Karlee. I'll always be your mommy. I am your mommy. And it just makes me feel really good in my heart. And then she'll go to you and be like, that's my mommy. And
I don't know what it means. I think it means various things. I think it's a saying that she likes to say, because I'll be like, I don't know. I can say, Karlee, don't do that. That's my mommy.
I know.
Okay, so don't do it. No, that's my mommy. Once again, I know that's your mom. And then once in a while I'll mess with her. She'll be like, that's my mommy. I'm like, no, that's my wife. No, that's my mommy.
Yeah, I don't understand. So she has that saying, but then it's taken to another level when this past week, at least 2 nights, she's like woke up in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to, that's my mommy. No, that's my mommy. That's my mommy. And she's half asleep. And then I'm waking up like, what in the world is going on? Is that really what she's saying? I think I used our little Nana and talked to her. I said, Karlee, it's night time. Go night. And then she'd fall back asleep. But then, she wakes up. That's my mommy.
And then she woke up this morning, not even a peep.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and it's like 8 o'clock our time, which means 7 o'clock. Karlee's up by 7 because we're usually leaving by 7.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6:30, Karlee's starting to wake up. I'm like, I ain't heard nothing out of Karlee yet. Like, is she even up or is she out? Which she's had a little tiny head cold here the last couple days. So I'm like, oh, maybe she needed a resters because she got a short nap yesterday. We got her to bed at a good time. But I'm like, maybe she just needed caught up. I'm looking. She's just sitting straight up. I'm like, okay. Not making a peep. Nothing. I mean, she just... And so I went back. I'm like, well, how long has she been there? Because I kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh shoot, like we slept in and she's just sitting there like, okay, guys, like I've shouted for 30 minutes and you ain't done nothing. So I'm just sitting here. I went back and looked. She was sitting up for about 10 minutes.
She does that randomly. And I think it's just sometimes she gets waken up and she sits up automatically. But she's not like awake and alert. So she's just kind of like hanging. I mean, you can't see my face, but kind of just hanging there.
It was weird.
She's done it before. Again, but you feel bad. Like, oh my gosh, you've been sitting there, but you haven't said anything. We're snoozing. Poor girl.
I didn't feel too bad for her because it was only 10 minutes and she didn't make a peep.
Yeah. I mean, usually she knows that.
She was like, mommy, mommy, mommy. And then a mom don't answer in about a minute. Daddy, daddy, daddy.
She knows how to get our attention.
She does. And it just was like, oh my. And I look and I'm like, uh-oh. And so, yeah, that's what made me scroll back. Luckily, in the Nana, we scrolled back another 10 minutes. And, okay, that's when she got up. And, nope, she didn't really make any fuss. Which, honestly, it was light out. So she might have been able to see in her room enough. She was just looking at stuff in her room.
Could have been.
I don't know. Most of the time, it's dark when we get up. It's dark in her room. So, I don't know. It was weird. Well, that's all we've got for you guys today. Since we will be in Colorado next week, we will not have an episode. So don't plan an episode dropping on Monday. I don't have a backup one either.
Sorry.
If we had a backup one, we'd throw it in there, but we have not. We're barely keeping up as it is. But we will not have an episode next week. So sorry about that. Stay tuned in for the next week, and we'll probably talk about how the trip went.
Yeah, and it'll also be spring break, so we can talk about all the spring break festivities we're doing too. You
got a bunch of plans for that, do you?
Not really, but we'll go with it. We'll figure it out. We got to stay entertained somehow.
That's all we've got for you guys today. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to Parenting in Progress. If you like what you heard and you're listening to us on YouTube, please go ahead, like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. If you're listening to us on other platforms, go ahead, give us a follow and a rating. We truly appreciate it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.